So welcome to the graduate certificate and also MBA concentration in real estate development. This is a very specific certificate slash concentration MBA program. We'll get to that later. Specialized not just in real estate, but in real estate development specifically. It is kind of the brain, sorry, if I get the cursor working here. There we go. It's having some technical difficulties here. My apologies. So to start off, it is important that you know who will be teaching you in these programs. I have a PhD in real estate from the University of Georgia. It is a top 5 program in the country. I believe it's ranked 3rd this year. But I came here 10 years ago now, 10 almost 11. I'm in my 11th year, and we had 3 students in an undergraduate real estate program. I've built that to over 100, about 130 students now in the undergraduate. This program, this graduate program, we just started it this semester. So we have our first group of 8 students coming through right now. And to give you a little bit about my background, I started out in finance, my master's in finance, my undergrad. I was a bond analyst on the sell side for several years in investment banking before I switched over to real estate. And my specialization is in real estate development and what they call urban economics. So the redevelopment of inner cities, so to speak. All right. We're going to cover a couple things today: the career paths, then we'll do a program overview, how to apply, and then I'll take questions. It says Q&A at the end, but really at any point in time, again, pop in with any questions you have. So as you'll see here, the average growth rate is around 4% in most industries. We see about 7% annually over the past, whether it's a 5-year, 10-year period. It's even higher at the 20-year period in real estate development specifically. Again, not just talking about real estate, I'm talking about commercial development. So development of retail spaces, multifamily, whether it's condos and apartments, office space, and industrial. So we're looking at right around last year, the occupation had about 80,000 new jobs. And our average kind of, I shouldn't say starting salary, but kind of that median, kind of an analyst position on up, starts around $87,000 in most industries, are around $38,000, $39,000 and that kind of median salary. So it is a highly lucrative industry. It's also extremely difficult to get into and to kind of get your foot in the door, which is why I started this certificate. This kind of gets around that barrier of the first 2 years where they have to train you. It's a very hands-on business. So, and we'll get to the structure of the program here in a minute, but in 6 months, you'll learn basically what would take them 2 years to train you. So you come in and you're able to add value day one. And that's the important part. And that nobody's going to hire you if you aren't adding value, right? If you can't take some of the things out of their hands and free them up to do other things, and they can trust you. So the basic career path here is you would come out of this program as a development analyst. In fact, by the way, Susan, we just landed our first person in an analyst position this week already, and they just started the program. So now, the step after that will be called project manager, and that's really what we're focusing on, those 2 positions. The project manager doesn't have to be great at any one thing, but they have to be very, very good at a lot of things. And think of them as the center of the wheel. Okay, they're the person running everything and coordinating with everybody, whether it's construction, whether it's city planning, whether it's the financing team, and your analysts, things of that nature. So it's a lot of different moving pieces at all times. So if you're good at multitasking, you probably be a good project manager, in other words. Then the next step is director of development, and then real estate development. So you're talking starting salaries around anywhere from $70,000 to $90,000 a year. I think Carla is coming in on another side. So you're talking about $70,000 to $90,000 a year coming out. The next step up is anywhere, and these again are medians. It depends on the structure, whether it's a corporate structure or it's a smaller independent developer. The end goal, though, is to become your own developer. For instance, one of my students that I spoke to this week, actually the one who hired the other person, one of our students, he went up as an analyst, project manager. He's now director of development at a place here in New Jersey. And the next step up will be for him to go to New York, and that's what's going on now. But eventually, he and a lot of my other students that are coming out want to end up on their own, right? They want to be their own developer, and the sky's the limit there. So this, 150,000 as a real estate developer is on the low end, put it that way. If you're good at what you do, you'll be making seven figures. If you go out on your, okay, did we lose Carl? We lost her. I think she's having some technical difficulty there. All right. So basically, this program is meant to take anyone who, even if you don't have a technical background, if you've never dealt with real estate, which about probably half to 2/3 of the people in the program right now do have some form of a background in real estate, whether it's accounting, whether it's project management, whether it's a broker, an analyst, things of that nature. But we take you from day one and make sure in that first 2-week period that everybody's on the same level, right? So what we do is we start by covering this thing called time value of money. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but basically it's the fundamental valuation of any commercial real estate project, a stock, a bond, a commodity, anything that has cash flow to it, or a corporate finance project even. Anything that has cash flow to it, we value it using time value money. So we take the cash flows, bring them in today's dollars, called present value, and we say this is what this stock or this real estate project or whatever else is worth right now. And then we also project out that we're using those same cash flows. We also get the internal rate of return. So that way we can go and pitch to investors to bring them into our project. So what you'll start out with is 572, commercial investment analysis, and that would be with me. That's what the students in the core curriculum right now are finishing, that 8-week cycle. So it's an 8-week course, and today they're turning in their final projects. It's basically financial feasibility is what it is. So in development, we have several different forms of feasibility. We have to start with financial before we can understand anything else. So starting tomorrow, the students that are in the cohort right now will be going into 570 and 571. Now these, you'll notice 572 that they're taking right now is a 3-credit-hour course. The next series they'll take over the next 8 weeks will be 2 1.5-credit-hour courses for a total of 3 credit hours. So there will be 8 weeks, but the workload will be half as much in each course. So they will learn real estate finance and securitization. So the banking, Wall Street lending, things of that nature. In this one, they will come in and their final project will be to put together a finance pitch, right? So they will actually put together the book that they will use to take to the bank and to take to equity investors and entice them to come and invest in the project. So we call it a financing package. Now in 571, they will learn legal feasibility. So specifically the legality of real estate development and land use. So it's really geared, it's not general real estate. It has some of that, but it's really geared to the real estate development law is what you're looking at. So that's your legal feasibility. That's the second feasibility if you're keeping track. And then we'll wrap up with real estate development. So basically the other 3 classes coming together. So in the spring, in the first half of spring, they will take their third 8-week series for a total of 24 weeks between all these courses, aka 6 months. And we will wrap everything up. We'll tie it all together. We'll do physical feasibility, the development process, and they will put together an offering memorandum. So an offering memorandum is what kind of like a red herring would be for a stock. So they will be in another 16 weeks. This first cohort of students now will be ready to come out and just hit the ground running and add value to a developer day one. So again, you will be putting together packages in Excel files that you can take to a developer when you're interviewing for the job and say, here's what I know. Instead of just talking about it like a lot of people do, here's what I did in this graduate certificate. Um, Susan, Isabel, do you want to talk on admissions? Do you want me to take this one?
You can go on, Joe. I can
Okay,
answer any questions if anything is not clear, but
no
you
problem.
got this.
So this is a 9 credit hour course. The total expense is somewhere around $8,000, which makes us highly competitive compared to other schools, which are much, much more expensive. We have rolling admissions. You can apply at any point in time. Now, what we usually do is try to get you within 2 weeks, give you a decision on whether or not you'll be admitted. So I'm going to come in right now. You do not need a GRE because it is a graduate certificate. You can also use these 9 credit hours for this certificate to apply towards an MBA degree if you decide you want to do that at the end of the certificate. I know we have one student right now has already made that decision. So about half the students, a little less than half the students in the program right now are in the MBA program, and the other half are taking it as a certificate and a standalone. There is a $60 application fee, but you will have yours waived for being in this session. And at this point in time, I know we had one person come in kind of late here. I'll take any and all questions.